Interview me that you cannot bomb your own house.
The Voice on the Move Radio.
We are celebrating 76 years of human rights. Do you know all your rights as a citizen of South Africa?
I have a right to freedom expression.
I have a right for freedom of speech.
I have a right to vote for my own party.
I have a right for human dignity.
I have a right to be a citizen of South Africa.
I have a right to protect those I love.
I have a right to be whatever I want to be.
I have a right to my education.
We all have a right to access to water and electricity.
Voice on the Move Radio is celebrating this year's Human Rights Month with you under hashtag 3 decades of respect for and promotion of human rights. Hashtag welcome to the future.
We the best.
The Voice on the Move Radio is out here at the Olive Convention Center for Santaco KZN AGM. And of course, yes, I am sitting with the president of Santaco, which is a very big opportunity for us to finally have a conversation with him. Mr. Tsebe, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Lundi. I'm fine, and how you say?
I am good. And welcome to Voice on the Move Radio.
Okay, yes, thank you very much for inviting me.
As we know that every AGM, Santaco president has to make sure that he attends and, he be part of every AGM that happens, especially provincial. What are we expecting or what were you expecting to happen? And just to find out from their plans in KZN and what you thought might just happen looks like to you.
Look, it is very important in terms of the governance of our structures. As national office, we are responsible for provinces, and provinces are responsible for their respective regions. Regions are responsible for their respective local associations. So in terms of leadership, it is important for me as an accounting officer to make sure that governance in terms of compliance, and one of the compliance issues is that members of the executive, the provincial office bearers and provincial executive committees, they have to account and report back their challenges and successes, and which is one of those that this province, the KZN Santaco, is reporting to their delegates today in terms of their annual general meeting to report their finances and the progress made so far. So far, they've gone through their reports convincingly so. From the Lakota resolution, remember that a program of leadership, unity and leadership is on top. And I think they are doing very well in that regard. Most of the provinces are here to come and see wonders that the KZN province is doing. Remember, what they are doing is competent to other provinces to come and copy. From the national office, we want to encourage provincial offices to say, do what KZN is doing, but don't compete and fight over competition.
Don't make it a competition.
You can copy from them what they are doing good. And take
healthy
it for
competition.
Healthy competition.
Yeah, true.
Because as Santaco, people are looking at us to deliver, and that's exactly what they are doing. And I'm very much impressed from what they are doing today to report back to their members. And they've never failed in terms of their annual reporting. They are doing it very wonderful.
Mr. President, now that you've mentioning the coming together and the working togetherness of the taxi industry, as we all know out there, it's another world. They say this and that, all the negative stuff when it comes to the taxi industry. I mean, how important it is for them to collaborate like this and just to show the world, or just to show people who tax the taxes or use the taxes, or people who use the road, because there's always just negativity going around. The combination or the coming togetherness of the provincial, different provinces, just to support one another.
Look, the perception will always be there. But I normally give a challenge to many of people that are interviewing me that you cannot bomb your own house. Living in the same house and you bomb it. So these criminal elements that are doing these things in our name needs collaboration of this sort. Provinces to work together so that they can be able to address challenges, especially in terms of criminal elements that are within our space.
Yeah.
So for us, we've got your Tlhokomela program, we're talking about it, and they are very much pushing for that Tlhokomela project, so that they can collaborate. Provinces must work together, law enforcement must be part of that, because criminal elements and criminal activities, mostly it's a law enforcement competency to arrest and to make sure that those that are doing criminal activities in our space are taken to jail. And that's a simple one that we are seeing as the industry from all our structures, that we don't promote criminality at its best. We are saying we must do away with it.
And how does one differentiate between a person who really works for Santaco and the person who's just after their own profit or gain using the very same brand?
That's why I was addressing issue of unity. The more they become united, the better. For them to be able to identify. Because Santaco is driving a membership drive, and then we are driving a training, of course. We want to be unified. We want our cars to be identified as Santaco operators, because any car, anyone can, we don't have what the identity, if I might call it, rightfully so. We did not patent this Santaco. We don't have the intellectual property protection sort of. So anyone can use it. But for us moving forward in terms of transformation, we are working towards that. And from the national office, as an apex board, we are saying one uniform, one Santaco. And we need one identity so that anyone can be able to identify us.
Looking at Santaco back then until now, the difference, and one of the biggest things that I personally think happened within Santaco is the introduction of women's desk, women within the taxi industry. I mean, how has that been for you since the beginning of women being introduced in the taxi industry and now?
That has been a challenge, and I've been talking to the National Women Desk executives that they need to get their sleeves up to be able to address issues, because we move province by province, region by region, association if it's even worse. This thing, and we are doing some collaborations with the so-called Act Now, those guys that are promoting and making sure that we address issues of gender-based violence in our space, and we're starting to get ourselves together as a national office, and obviously from all interviews that we will be getting into, we'll be going for a policy conference, so that remember that the desk was established, but constitutionally it's not clear. It's not addressing issue of women and the empowerment of women in our structure, especially when it comes to leadership. Remember that the Lakota resolution resolved that 30% of the leadership structures, it must be given to women. But you can't say and you leave it dry like that, because if you leave a woman to contest with a man, of course the man will win. We want to give them powerful position where we say only women must contest.
Where they can be
like
in control.
In other provinces, secretariat is given to women. So, and we are even encouraging them to stop the pulling hair down syndrome. And sometimes they put leadership, but very soon they are the ones that complain. But we are also encouraging leadership that don't leave your members without information, knowing exactly the direction that you want to do. Because definition of empowerment is different. It's not politics. We don't have to argue with women. They must not come and compete. They must come and complete.
True.
That's our encouragement to them.
And looking at the taxi industry, since it's been running since back from our grandparents and on to us as well, and to our kids as well, and the fourth industrial revolution being introduced into there, which is actually very challenging. I don't know how you guys accept it, but which has been very challenging in all industries. And how does this impact the Santaco as a brand or as an organization?
Look, we are moving with times, and that's why because a best successor is the one who was created by those that pushed him forward. For now, we didn't have a proper succession plan, which we are working on. And fourth industrial revolution, remember, it's here. We can't run away from it. We are working on the payment solution, cashless systems, the systems that are working within offices, be it on media platforms. Now you've got, and remember from national, we are building a brand in terms of communication, so that to make sure that when we address issues, we address them from the same level. So they need to adapt. But we need to bring the youth in. Remember, we were talking about women. You need the youth in.
Yeah, true.
So most of the youth are still skeptic. They are not
Shaking,
sure to come in. But we are trying, because now we are going to resuscitate our academy in Velcom.
Nice,
and then we want to get into schools for those kids that cannot afford to go for university, because we've got so many lawyers, teachers, but we don't have a professional taxi driver. So we want to take a system in Singapore where when you become a taxi driver, the future taxi driver must be a professional driver that gets into class to address issues of customer care, and all those things that we need from the taxi driver. So we have a team that is working to resuscitate the Velcom, and we need mechanics as well within our rank. So it's a rank economy. You've got the best driver, and then you've got those that are working within Bomamom Kulu, those that are cooking for our drivers. And when you address issues of the payment solution, you must not leave them outside, because that will create a gap. So we will be saving money, but at the same time creating jobless. People will have to move out of the space, and where are the drivers going to eat? So our economy wanted to be a secular economy that will address all the members within the space of a rank. So you'll call it a rank economy. So it's a spider web sort of. So everything comes within
together.
Them. So they've got a card that they can put petrol, and the petrol must be their petrol. They can buy their spares. So hence I'm saying secular. We've started, I think, in some provinces you have what you call a business in a box. It's a spare shop like. In KZN, they've spoken about the business in a box. They are talking about Dunlop Tire Fitment Center. But we are saying a secular economy is all about bringing everything into the rank, so that there's no more walking for a dead kilometer, because that dead kilometer of a taxi moving from a rank going to buy space, it's a dead kilometer. On its own, it's a profit. So we want to bring it closer to them, where their cars will sleep in a rank, be washed, and mechanical is done within the ranking space. And so we are just talking to different municipalities. Remember that we've signed an agreement with Salga in terms of management of the ranks. But you'll see where we come from is that we have ranks or shopping malls where you don't have a rank, and people are working in the malls. So a digital platform will bring so much. It's advertising, because we are starting to engage with the TVs like yourselves to say, no, let's go to the people and tell them the good things that we are thinking and the good things that we intend to do. You've got the short-term and long-term plans. Of course, the short ones is like when you say the taxi industry is big, you can create a car. But when you want to create your own car, maybe it must be a 2024, 2074 plan. Then you've got the immediate plans that you can say it's 2024, January to April that we can implement. It's an easy one to implement. So you have both the digital platforms that we are creating, and we are moving, because now it shows you, like you are saying, that the other countries, the fourth industrial revolution is a history. To us, it's like it's new, but it has been happening. But we are saying, let's accept it. Let's bring the right people to assist us to do. That's why we are professionalizing. I've seen in their report, they start to recruit professionals in their office. They will advertise for certain positions, which Santaco. Now, if you come to professionalization, I can't preach it if I don't do it at national level. I'll have to start it. It's a top-bottom approach. So, because when I professionalize my office, the provinces will do the same. The regions will do the same, and the associations will cope. It's not all about being an executive. We have to accept non-executive position and give executive positions to those that are doing administration. And this industry will go far. As much as we are saying we are the biggest after government in terms of labor. So we want to prove it to the nation and to the world that this taxi industry that we are in, we are jealous about it because our forefathers started it. We've got professors that went to school because of the taxi industry. So even now, in terms of addressing the fourth industrial revolution, we are saying, let's bring the right people in to do it for us.
Yeah, true. And just for you being here, just makes me want to ask every question, because now that we are an online radio station that works with the taxi industry, obviously we come across people that are taking taxi each and every day. One of the challenges that I will personally say as well, or highlights, is the one for e-hailing that has come through. And I wouldn't say that it has disturbed the taxi industry, but I'd rather leave it to you just to explain how has it affected Santaco.
Yeah, look, I think the unity platform was long overdue.
Yeah.
Now we just, in our space, we've got the meter taxis. Yeah. Because I wanted a definition of what is e-hailing all about. Doing it, and remember when situation in Soweto, we had to intervene. But because now they are part of us in terms of making sure that we improve, because we'll have to look at the whole ecosystem, like your scholar transport.
Yes.
It's very important because that is our future. Then we're saying to government, please don't kill our future. We want proper transport for scholars.
Yeah.
We are not saying Bumalume, Bapelolom Sevens, but we need a way. How do we empower them to have a safer transport for our kids, which is our future? Now you've got the meter taxis and the e-hailing and the competition. You go into many suburbs, you'll see these private cars standing there.
True.
And our meter taxis, we are still calling them meter taxis. So we are getting into a digital platform to compete with the so-called Ubers through the e-hailing programs and so on. So I think most companies are coming in, they are presenting. And to me, I was always arguing that I want a local youngsters that develop these programs, because we have to promote internally instead of us going externally to get what you call the IT guys to do this work for us. It's obviously going to steal our economy out of our hands. So hence I've said it, and when we create these things, we want South Africans to own it. It's your township economy, for example. Some government was saying to us, the only people that can make sure that we realize the real township economy is the taxi industry. Well, for someone who's not there, we have those perceptions that are saying, they won't do it. But watch the space we are coming. We will make sure that the township economy is resuscitated to the right direction. Like, we don't want to get into the same trap what happens to the spaza shops. South Africans, they don't...
Taking over.
Taking over. Yeah. So now you're e-hailing, if you have too many companies competing against each other. And I've said it, look in the airline space. You can't just get there and get a flight and you just go from Durban Airport to OR. There are processes.
True.
And we want government to listen to us to say, look, this Land Transport Act needs to be looked better, because every player wants to get in. And it's new players. So we want Tina in the taxi space. Even if you look at, remember it's government initiatives to make sure that the taxi industry is united. Yes, we know that it's not normal. Even during Jesus, people were not working the same way.
True.
So that's true. Even biblically, we know that things won't just happen the way we want them. But as long as we are focused and we know exactly our vision and mission, what is it that we want to achieve for our generations to come, so that we are able to leave a legacy. And I'm telling most people that we can't work for now for us to realize Uguti, we've done well. But our legacy will show ngabantwana bethu ukuthi we've done well, like our forefathers.
They did. Hence why we're here today.
That's why we're still here.
Talking about that, I wanted to ask, when you took the chair of being the presidential for Santaco, obviously you saw something that you wanted to change, and you still got time moving forward to change that. What was the one thing that you wanted to change or impact, or a plan that you wanted to go about moving forward?
Firstly, when on my inauguration, you can remember I spoke about the taxi violence. Getting that one, it's a cancerous, that one. It's cancer.
Yeah, true.
But the question is really the taxi operators killing each other? Because it's self-hatred. That it leaves many to answer that. Do you think taxi operators are killing each other like they are doing now? Because they've got quantums. Banks now are hesitant to keep on funding taxis again because of this criminality that is happening. And how can someone who owns, because killing someone, it means there's money
involved.
Someone is paying someone to kill someone. So
true.
You can't be owing your quantum and paying someone to kill someone again.
That makes sense.
So to me, is that these things are happening because there is third force that is within us, making us to fight so that we lose focus. But we are able to address that. That was one for me to say, taxi violence, no. And in terms of compliance and formalization, because it's a most important one. The Unity platform, in terms of leadership, this is one example that is happening. As long as you see provinces coming in, I was telling them now that, look, copy from this one. I don't want any province that is not going to go for AGMs, because it makes your 4 years easier if you report every year until the final one, which is your elections. So it prepares. If you don't want to be replaced become difficult to be replaced.
Yeah.
Just comply. Governance
Make your mark.
dictates.
Yeah.
Make your mark.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You might have 2, 4, 3 people will say if they see you doing something, and exactly that is what I'm saying. KZN has done well, and me, I'm a council. Someone misinterpret Santaco. Santaco is not an association. It's a council, like your nursing council, your teachers council, your lawyers council, and whatever. So it's a council of the taxi industry.
Yeah.
So with Tina, we are here to protect the interest of taxi operators and to make sure that there's compliance and there's peace.
Are we still saying that the taxi industry still belongs to the black business people, or are there any doors open for anyone else just to come in? Are we protecting the taxi industry just to stay within the black society of black businessmen?
Why not? Exactly.
Yeah.
This one was created. When you read the historical, it will tell you there were whites that started it. But, our forefathers fought for this.
Yeah.
And that, I think it was a bonus for us. If we can mix in terms of complexion and say, no, it's open for everybody, it can't be. This is a black business that we want, both abobaba and abomam, keep it forward. And nabantwana bethu, they must do the same. So we are not going to sell our soul and say, it's open for everybody. You can go.
And just lastly, a message of appreciation to taxi drivers, because without them, even the organization will kind of stand still. And of course, to passengers as well, who are on the road every day, taking those taxis, making sure that the taxis, they are safe, passengers are safe, and the owners are getting money and all of that. Just you sending a message as the president of Santaco, just to assure them that, you got them.
Our drivers, they are playing a very important role.
Yeah.
So remember that everything that we do, it always catch up with them.
Yeah.
We fight, kill each other, run away. They are always the victims. And so we are saying to our drivers, like, formalization, labor is a priority. As much as we are saying we are going to do a cashless system, we need to address benefits of the drivers. We must register them for UIF, workmen's compensation, so that they are able to live within that space to support their families.
Make it a career for them.
Yes, it must be a career. They must feel it when they come to work, and they are very important. And so it's only a matter of cleaning it up, a little bit, polish it. They are very, when you talk about the taxi industry, you're talking about the driver.
True, absolutely, because that's where everything is judged.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for the passengers?
And to our passengers, our apologies for what is happening. Sometimes you find them having to bear the price in terms of the violence, road accidents. When a taxi is engaged in an accident, people are dying and so we are saying, look, we will take it step by step, but with this one we have to move a little bit faster to address issue of accidents. That's why Tlokomela becomes important. But the good thing is that our communities are supporting the taxi industry to the core. And that we need to respect and say thank you very much, South Africans, for supporting this industry. Without you, we shouldn't have made it so far. So we would want to encourage them that we want more of them to park their private cars to come to us, but we know there's a lot that we must do to convince them to do that.
True.
But they are part of us, and we are saying we are really, really appreciative in terms of their support, and let them keep on supporting local transport, which is your taxi industry.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. I mean, we can talk the whole day and night because there's so much to cover, but rather let's just go back to the AGM because it's still happening inside. Let me not keep you any longer. But thank you very much for having this conversation and being part of Voice on the Move Radio's interview. We really do appreciate it. And it doesn't end here. Absolutely, a long way to go. And that's the Santaco's president, Ms. Abner and Tsebe, who is joining us right here on Voice on the Move Radio right now as we are broadcasting live at the Olive Convention Center for the KZN Santaco AGM. And over to you, Sesmonelo, and thank you very much for watching.